Welcome to Two Balls and a Mic. We are here for episode 103. 103 straight weeks of Two Balls and a Mic in your ear. Thank you for joining us. We have Loyal action. San Diego Loyal signed a brand deal with Mexican brand Charly. Exciting times. We're going to go ahead and talk all about that. Some of the breaking news with Kyle Vassell coming over from across the pond and a special guest when it comes to Loyal and the Loyal universe. We're also going to talk about our experience for the under 18, under 20 matches for Xolos Quintles at Tijuana. And we also were able to see La Mayor, the older guys, in that day. So that was incredibly amazing. I watched football on Latin America's largest big screen TV to today. We're also going to go over a little bit of Liga MX and the NFL with the wild card playoffs starting. Who advances to the conference championship? We have the matchups right here. So as you can see, we are ready to go. Hi, Chiva.
What's up, man?
Season's greetings. How are you, boys?
Hey, we had a great weekend. Had a busy weekend.
We had the worst tacos of all time.
Oh, man.
I think you forgot about that.
Terrible.
And we will in TJ. Like, literally, I did not finish my food. But without further ado, before we go any further, I just want to say that I want to welcome this individual onto the pod. He's long-time listener, first-time caller. The reason why we don't have a more phallic-shaped logo, he says he's sorry, but you know what? None taken. He had to be hard with us, and he had to tell us that our logo sucked, and he did on various occasions to our faces.
That was before he knew he liked us.
Before we knew who we were, like the gall on this guy. But without further ado, I would want to welcome, you know him from the USL show. You know him from the Orange Black Soccer Cast, Les Champions, and from Fairweather Podcast, the great Alan Underwood. Hi, Alan.
Hey, how's it going? I was more like about the hand-drawn part of the logo, not necessarily the phallic part. I was like kind of okay. I was fine with that part. It was anyway. I just knew that there was like something special about you two, so I was like, hey guys, I think you need a logo that matches the quality of these two hosts of this beautiful show. Thanks for having me on.
I'm never gonna forget your words.
There's a lot of Loyal to cover.
Yeah, there really is. I think you've been holding up in a bunker, just going through your notes madly. There is a lot of Loyal news to get to. So tell me, Alan, is there something that's just a top of mind that you want to just get to right now that's pressing, that's just, you just want to get that word out?
Yes. We're going to have to teach a lot of people how to pronounce the new kit manufacturer properly. There's going to be a lot of, this is how you roll ours, apparently. But that's what I'm the most excited about. I think I watched that video 2 or 3 times just this evening. They seem to get the local vibe, and I'm excited to see some new kits. And what I've been reading about our new kit manufacturer is quite fascinating. Nice history. You have the connection to Xolos now, stealing their kit manufacturer apparently.
How dare they?
I've always admired the Xolos kits. I was reminded of the kits that they've been producing lately across all of their teams in Liga MX, and I just forgot that the Lucha Libre, is that the right word? Again,
yep.
Yes.
Ignorant. That mask kit was just the best. I remember seeing that all over the timeline. So I'm like super excited about the possibilities of what this means for a unique look on the pitch and in the stands. You're getting away from the cookie cutter Adidas Nike stuff. And I think you're really going to be able to celebrate a lot of what local San Diego has to offer and have it show up on a kit in a way that's going to, I think, excite a lot of people. It's a big company. I know that they are super popular. Shiva tells me it runs a little small. I prefer to say I run a little large, but I'm excited about that.
Yeah, so from what you told me is that you read somewhere that they might be running that 3X, up to the 3X size. I know for my person, like my brother always buys Xolos jerseys, and he's upset he doesn't fit on the 2X anymore, so he's on the bigger side now. Chiba, adjust your hat if you see this.
Hey, how about we don't derail the entire podcast with comments?
My hat. But yeah, no, Charly brand is a well-established brand. I mean, they provided the uniforms for the Liga MX MLS All-Star match.
True.
And that's a big deal. Again, this is San Diego Loyal becomes the first team anywhere in the United States to have Charly as their official branding. And like you said, it's not Adidas, it's not Nike. I think Loyal likes to be one of a kind, and any chance they're gonna get that opportunity, they're gonna take it, and that's exactly what they did with Charly.
So here's the thing, right? So you didn't go to the listening party for the San Diego Loyal, and Alan was there, as a good podcast host should. Why weren't you there again?
Oh, was that Rolling Loud?
Sure. Is that the one where they trampled people? No, right?
No.
Okay, cool.
Sure.
Just making sure. But no, so at the listening party, like, there was a lot of questions, and we went over it as far as like, hey, what's going to be eaten at Torero Stadium? What's going to be the menu like? What's going to be the atmosphere like? And, that's all fine, mighty, dandy, and good, but I want to know what's going to happen on the field, independently of being media and whatever, at this point, whatever it is we are. I have digital media is what we are. But I asked the question, all right, so first of all, what are you guys going to do to appeal to my people, mi cultura, the people that look like me, like, my representing mine? Because you kept talking about us for the last 2 years. Leal sin muros, sure. I'll give you a couple things here and there. The Dia de los Muertos hat that you're wearing right now is one of those moves that they did as well. But what else? Like what's happening? And I don't know if you could tell, Alan, but the panel was just like sitting, like it was Ricardo, it was Nate Miller in the back, just trying to hide from people, and Andrew Vassell, this chairman, who, by the way, breaking news. San Diego Loyal chairman Andrew Vassiliadis will be joining Two Balls and a Mic tomorrow in an interview that will be going out later this week to discuss exactly the Charly brand deal. So if you have questions for Chairman Andrew, go ahead and start sending them. In any case, he wanted to tell me this is what's going to happen, because I asked, what are you doing? And they had this in mind. They were like, there's this move that's going to happen, and I'm pretty sure this is going to move things forward. I was privileged enough to, after the party ended, Andrew pulled me aside, and he looked over to Ricardo and kind of nodded like, hey, is it cool if we tell them? Like, all right, cool. In an act of trust and an act of it was a trust fall. But he told me what it was going to be that day. So since then, I've been also been holding this albatross of Charles and Chucks on my chest, but I knew that was a good move. Like, it's just a great move. Like, as soon as he told me, I'm like, wow. Like, I'm always in the prove me wrong category with most things. He shut me the hell up. I was like, yes, that's exactly what the move you should be doing. Yeah. He went into a little bit more details, moved, and I asked him, so can I see him? And hesitant, looked around, left, right. There was a random transient behind us, so I kind of shielded him and asked him, so can I see him? And he pulled the home kit out. And my, oh my.
Okay. Obviously, I don't know if you're allowed to say what.
I know I can't. And that's all I say. I saw that.
Are people going to be happy?
People will be very happy.
There you have it.
People will be very happy. And
will Alan be happy?
I don't know. Alan, how do you feel? Because you're not necessarily la cultura, but as an outsider, legitimately as an outsider, like, what are your thoughts on this deal with a Mexican brand like this?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been in the mindset of, if it looks great and it feels great, like, that's all what we can ask for, right? Like, I own a Forward Madison, like the pink flamingo keeper kit, because it was like, this is such a unique kit that I was like, I need to have this. And they're like, when we put it up for pre-order, we'll reach out to you. And they did. Like, I think it was like 6-8 months later, they're like, we're finally doing this. And it's like, I think when you can create these iconic moments off the pitch, like it really branches out beyond into the soccer community as like a statement, or as a like, this is who I am, and it really builds that brand of who you are in the soccer community. It's like, does Forward Madison play good soccer? I don't know. I've watched maybe 2 games of theirs recently, but what I know they can do is they can produce good kits and fun kits and kits that everyone wants to have, and then that brings in like revenue for your team, right? And so then you can create really fun soccer for the people who are in that community watching. As far as being like a Mexican brand, I think it just speaks to like what soccer seems to mean to people in this region of the United States. It's this cross border, right? It's having Cesar tell me that Liga MX is the most popular team or most popular league in the United States by a lot. And it's like
100%.
it blows your mind the first time you hear it if you're not really aware. But it's like you look at the numbers and it's like it makes sense. They're the big clubs. They're the ones winning all of these CONCACAF style championships. And like tying into that environment and that culture and that history is really important for teams that exist especially in Southern California, where there is that cultural connection already. There is that familiar connection already, and you're connecting to those bonds of soccer history in the San Diego region. I think it's smart. I think it is exciting because it's also a really quality brand. It's not like you're just tokening, hey, like this is a Mexican company, we're doing it because they're from Mexico. It's like, no, they're a great kit manufacturer who is also from Mexico, and those are 2 both strong things to take a look at. And like I said, I'm really excited to see what the guys look like on the pitch. I am ruining having to spend a bunch of more money on kits, but yeah, I'm excited. I think it's a really good move, and I think some people are going to be like, who at first, and then you're to show them, and that's really going to sell it to them.
I have kept myself from buying a San Diego Loyal kit this past 2 seasons.
Yeah, no, you really have.
1, the kids wouldn't have fit before.
Yes, congratulations
2,
again.
I told you, you know what? I don't know, man. I feel like they're going to drop some new kits soon. Like it's going to be a little different. I'll buy something when they drop something different,
The
something
closest
new.
one that you were going to buy was the Radies one.
The ratings, yes, because
Yeah,
I really
Radies
like
was
that
really
one.
good, yeah.
And now I'm glad I didn't, because I'm definitely
So
buying
screw
a
those
Charly.
kids.
I'm definitely going to buy a Charly one. And that's the thing about Charly, right? They're so creative with their kits.
Yeah.
And not only that, they drop different things too. But the Lucha Libre kits, a lot of people thought, you thought it was used for Xolos.
I really did.
Tijuana's known to have the Lucha, like origination of Lucha
Yeah,
Libre.
it's like a capital of Lucha Libre. Yeah.
But no, they have it for León, they have it for Santos, they have it for Atlas. I mean, they have big teams in Mexico with this brand. Like the current champions, Atlas, it's part of Charly.
Yeah.
And
they break the mold is what it is. Like, honestly, like, I'm a classic person when it comes to soccer. Like, I like my boring rules, no VAR. I like tradition. I like this. I like this. There's one thing that I really like is like color palettes. And when that started happening in soccer, like like with the Predators and the evolution of that, F50s, and so I really like that color splash of things. If some people haven't seen them, first of all, I recommend you go to at 2 Balls and a Mic on YouTube. Find us, look at us, subscribe, so you can see the visuals that go along with it. Have you seen some of the kits, Alan, that Charly has?
Yeah, I saw actually this exact lineup earlier today with the Lucha Libre stuff. And I mean, I've kept my eye on Xolos because I, from time to time pay attention to what they're doing. But like, they really are super unique. It seemed to be really responsive to what fits each of the soccer communities. Like the detailing on these things are crazy and insane. And like, this is what you want from your sports franchise, right? Like, unless you're like, I don't know, the Yankees or the Red Sox, where like tradition is so important. Like everything else, like make your own stamp on things and make it about your community. Yeah, these things are like, I remember that all over my timeline when they dropped, and it's just like, that is a beautiful kit. That Xolos Lucha Libre kit is just gorgeous.
Like, granted, right? Like the Adidas kits, the purple kits were fantastic. The stone goalie
but I think
was
what
on
made
there.
it though was
cool.
the cargo.
Yeah, 100%. Like, but at the end of it, if you take off the if you take off the ¿cómo se llama? Los patrocinios.
The sponsors.
Two balls and a bike in Spanish. Two balls y leal is now a thing.
The sponsors.
So join us on that. The sponsorships. If you take off the sponsorships from the purple gargoyle, and that's just a gargoyle kit. Like it's a goalie kit at the end of the day. Like I love me some goalies, but all right, relax.
Yeah,
okay?
like you've seen that before.
Yeah, relax. Like you've seen the color, but this is design of the actual jerseys. Like, can you imagine? Like, I don't know, Tory green, because that's back on the table, right? It has to be. Like,
I mean, based on Alan Vassell's last tweet, or his first tweet after this, said, "Are you guys ready for Tory green?"
So yeah,
so
and we'll ask.
That's
him,
a major.
Yeah, if it's a thing, it's a thing. But could you imagine a Tory green with, I don't know, Balboa Park?
Oh man,
design interwoven into it, like I don't know what else.
I think
what else is San Diego?
I wonder if for the average like soccer fan or loyal fan here in San Diego, maybe they feel like this could be a downgrade because they don't know the brand, right? And they say, "Oh, who's Charly? They used to have Adidas, and now it's Charly. Like, what is this?" But man, once you see the kits, like Alan said, once you start seeing all the kits they've dropped for different teams in Liga MX, you can't get nothing but excited. Like, it's
they do a
exciting
lot
stuff.
of these. They do, like, I think Xolos had like the breast cancer awareness. They're like able to create these unique kits. Like imagine like a heritage night where it's like shouting out the artwork of Chicano Park, and it's like you Chicano Park is now on your kit, like being represented for your city. Like those are the things I think that you're never going to get with these big named kit manufacturers, because I mean, to be frank, it's USL. Like they're going to sell a couple jerseys, but compared to their Premier League teams, compared to Liga MX teams, like you're just not going to sell a ton. So it's like they're not going to go out of your way to create something super special for you unless it already exists within what they can manufacture, right? But with this, there just seems to be a much more open possibility to really reflect the community on the pitch with, you have your standard, your Tory green, maybe a standard road kit. But now with that third kit, you can really do a lot of really cool stuff to celebrate, the neighborhoods in the community and the vibes in those neighborhoods. That when you say you want to do these things, that's just another avenue to really get to celebrate them on the pitch and not just before a game or on the internet. Like it's a whole thing. It's like, we're going to go out in these communities. We're going to do all this work during the week. And then on that weekend, you have your own special kit recognizing that thing. Like that's dope. Like I'm for that 100%. And I think this has the possibility to do that, not like Vegas style where every home game is a different kit, but I think, the possibilities are exciting for this one.
It's like confetti vomit, just like every game at halftime because of the water balloon fights and incessant Vegafying. It's really bad. It's like if Vegas had a minor league team of soccer, this is what it would legitimately be. Like, like it sounds like an NBC type show. Like, what would happen if we stick a goddamn soccer team?
But I think just with this partnership in general, it puts San Diego Loyal on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
I was talking to you, Tony, about this. I mean, yeah, San Diego Loyal, it's a great team and everything. At the end of the day, it's a USL team. It's hard for
division
them.
Team. Sorry,
it's hard. It's not an MLS team. They're a different ballpark than any MLS team.
Mm-hmm.
I think this sets them apart from any other USL team, and gets an eye out from MLS when they start considering expanding the league into different cities. Right?
It'd be hard to think of that there isn't one MLS team that would have liked to have been the first team in the U.S. to have Charly. Like I'm hard pressed to think there's not one that would. Imagine an LAFC with Charly.
No,
well, the problem with MLS though is everyone has to wear the same because it's not separate teams; it's one entity. And some of those owners, I'm probably not going out on a huge limb to say some of them probably wouldn't be thrilled hiring a Mexican company to provide kits for what seems to be a direct competitor at this point, but maybe a future partner. But maybe that's something that, once they become a partnership between the two leagues, which seems to be like direction some people want to go, you might see some more of those moving in the United States. But you would have to outfit everybody. I'm not sure MLS would go for that. Unfortunately,
shout out to people on the chat. Obviously, we have JP, Nick Duffy, obviously a local at heart. Apparently, if you missed it, he's also the shadow GM. I think as Drew from the local said. Afmir and Hyperwolf. What do you guys think in the chat? Let us know what you guys think as far as Charly goings on. Are you concerned? Are you liking it?
What designs would you like to see
What designs?
from Charly?
So I'm gonna stay quiet on this one just because I've seen some.
Yeah, no, you can't comment.
So
I have a feeling we're gonna have some Dia de los Muertos design. Loyal likes to go for that kind of vibe. So I'd be excited to see something like that. But I mean, yeah, overall, none of this matters, right?
none.
If the team does not perform well this season,
At least they'll good look losing.
the team has to perform this season, which kind of wants me to kind of move on to what are the expectations so far at this point that you guys have for this team?
Oof. This is a tough one because I think this is also a conversation about realizing the schedule is a little bit different. Like, this is the first year where it's in conferences, where you only play every team twice. I mean, you get Orange County 3 times, but you play every team twice instead of 4 times. Every game seems to matter a little bit more. There's no real, like, huge gimmies on the schedule either. Like, if looking at the home schedule, like, name me a team outside of, like, Vegas and, I mean, maybe Monterey Bay. Like, the rest of those, like, LA Galaxy 2 is a good game, right? You got Sac Republic. They're going to play you hard. El Paso is almost always in the playoffs as a top team.
Yeah.
Charleston Battery, like, you can just go boom, 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 boom. Like, Baby Bulls, maybe. That's New York Red Bulls, too. Yeah. Maybe that's another one you can kind of look at. But this is going to be a gauntlet this year. And so the expectation, I think, for every USL team, like, winning the conference is going to be super duper hard. You can quote me on that.
Super duper hard.
Super duper hard. It's going to be hard. And so, like, the goal now is, like, you got to make the playoffs. Like, you got to make the playoffs, and you got to be in the hunt for a home playoff game again. But it's not like top 4 from your conference of 8. Like, this is knockdown, drag out. Good teams are going to miss the playoffs this year. Loyal should be shooting for the playoffs. There should be a playoff team. I think that's the expectation. I think a home playoff game is within reach. But now you no longer are dealing with just Phoenix and Orange County. Now you're adding El Paso to the mix. You're adding a retooled Colorado Springs, who looks really good. You start adding up all these teams that have been consistently good in the league the past couple of years, and now you're like, okay, now we're like 5th, 6th. Like, now you're talking about breaking. You know, it's gonna be even more of a gauntlet this year than last year, and there's gonna be some tough losses, I think, this year against good teams.
Do you guys think that they can afford to have a bad start like they did last season? I know last season was probably the worst start you could have. Can they afford to do that this season?
Yeah, I mean, they can, I guess, because, look, they did it last year, regardless of who they're actually playing. It was a different layout, right? But if you start 0-4 and then you start turning it on and going on a 10-game, 9-game unbeaten run in the middle of it, and you turn yourself around, that's fine. The thing that happened with Loyal is, like, I don't know if some Freaky Friday bullshit happened and Orange County and Loyal, like, switched, like, destinies and fates, but I think that was Loyal's pathway. Whatever Orange County did to get to the championship, that was set for Loyal. Had they done the right things during the regular season, like, that could have been them, I feel. I don't know, Alan, you have a little bit more insight as you are I don't want to say traitor, but a confused person is caught in the middle between Orange County. I guess congratulations. But do you feel that way? Is that what, I mean, obviously Orange County says that, we're the best team, like, as a majority, but do you see it maybe that way?
I mean, I think over the course of the season, you can make an argument that Orange County was the better team because they finished higher. I think much like other American sports where there's a kind of a longer, regular season and then the playoffs, where your playoff picture is some teams that are kind of bubbly teams. A hot team can go on a run and win championships, right? You saw, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim or whatever, when they won the World Series, it was very similar. They had good players. They had good players, but they just got real hot at the right time and were snuck in the wild card and ended up winning. Like we've seen this time and time again in American sports.
Yeah.
It's one of the downfalls, right, of the way American sports works is the regular season doesn't matter unless you don't get into the playoffs. Like once you get in the playoffs, where you finish doesn't matter because you can win. Versus, the Prem or whatever, where you have to win it during the regular season. You play every team once and that's it. But we saw right now with the Premier League where Man City's running away with it. And it's like, all right, we got a half a season and most of the teams are already like, all right, so what are we playing for here? So there's a give and take, but yeah, it's I think with Orange County and San Diego, I think that the away game where they lost was kind of where that Freaky Friday thing happened. I think Orange County really gained a lot of momentum into the playoffs, and it tripped up San Diego yet again. And then all of a sudden, it's like it gets in your head: Are we, we're going to give us away? We're going to, I think it's just a vicious cycle. And then Orange County really used that run as like a, hey, we believe in ourselves. We're going to make this happen. And they just got hot, and they had a really good goalkeeper down the stretch.
Let's not forget San Diego Loyal kind of jinxed themselves with the whole.
I 100% think that happened
for the home playoffs. So
like, there's
maybe they won't do that this season.
Maybe they learned. I hope they learned. And obviously, from what I heard, is that's just like modus operandi. Like it is what it is. That's status quo, how it happens. But it's fun to say that there's such things as jinxes. It makes us feel better. But enough of the past. There is a future with Charly starting this year, 2022, because there are some re-signings, new signings, old faces, new faces, some faces that we thought were older. I guess
Future
Charly Adams is
not
a 55-year-old vampire sometimes. Like, he's actually a really young guy.
You're older than Charly
I am
Adams.
older than Charly Adams. Yikes. Hey, relax. You're almost there, okay? You're older than Morgan Hackworth, who's 16, okay? But Alan, is there anybody who? Let's start with returns.
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 Right, let's do it.
Is there anybody that you see on the return list so far? Because there is a rogue list of versions of the return list that hasn't been named public. Some of the names because Landon dropped them on a friendly our friendly neighborhood Darren actual show. But any signings that are coming back, any players that are coming back that catch your eye and say, you know what, this is a good move. Some that you're like, we could have done without maybe, or what are your reactions to those?
Yeah, this one's always tough because you have like emotional connections to players like, Elijah Martin and Jack Metcalf. Like if they came back every year until they like their knees fell apart, I'd be ecstatic. Like two great human beings that play really well, and that play an important role for both defensively, offensively for the team. So you love to see those two guys back. I wrote an article last year about how important Colin Martin was to the team. I think we saw it in the play when he wasn't on the pitch and where he is. So I think kind of those three signings as far as kind of like the back end and how we roll, I think those are the ones I'm excited about. Like, don't get me wrong, I love me some Charly Adams, but I think Colin Martin is the guy who I think I'm the most excited about. And then you got to love Tumi Moshabani. Like, again, the same thing. Like if that guy can be a San Diego Loyal for as long as he wants to, I love that guy to death. As far as like, all right, that's fair. I think Grant Stoneman is a good re-signing. I think there's still more that he can learn and he can get better at. I like that he's back, but it's not like, if Josh Yarrow re-signed, I would have been like over the moon. Congratulations on him getting a MLS look.
Absolutely.
And then, I'm interested to see what Guido brings this year as well. I think he was an interesting character to watch. Again, really super great guy, but maybe not always the most consistent performer on the pitch. I think he had kind of an up and down. So that was another one. It's like, it's cool because of what he means to the team. But I think, maybe there's a torch being handed over from him to someone else on the team. And then let's see. I mean, Morgan's great. Like I said, I think he's a good role player, but I'm happy he's here because it means he's still getting paid and still playing. But yeah, that's my 16-year-old dog. We just don't interrupt him whenever he does.
No, yeah, no,
No,
you
we
don't.
love puppies.
No,
We love
puppies
dogs
is
here.
great. I've actually met these puppies. They're fantastic individuals. Like, they are protective of Alan. So you
He's
better
like,
come.
yeah.
You better come smelling correct here.
Yeah, so those are kind of my like. I'm glad they're back. I'm fine they're back. And then like, all right, that's cool. Like, well, fine.
So Loyal haven't announced this return player yet, but it's kind of a guaranteed based on his social media, who he's been hanging out with, that he is bound to return, and it's Austin, right? We all love Austin. He had a great season. Few mistakes here and there, goalkeepers happen. But then Loyal announced a player from Spain, Coque Vegas, and now the question is, okay, what the hell's gonna happen with Austin, right?
Hola a todos, soy Coque Vegas.
Hola a todos. Soy Coque Vegas.
Yeah, very Spanish, right? Spanish.
So
There's lisp in there. I know. I don't know which letters it worked by. I mean, goalkeeper is such an interesting job in general. Like you're rooting for another guy, but there's only one spot on the pitch, right? There's not like you can't do a double pivot in the keeper box. Although, I mean, maybe someone should try it at some point just to see if they get lucky. But I think weirder things have happened where you bring in what you think is a number one, and then for some reason it doesn't work out, or he breaks his finger on an amazing save, and you need to have a really great, I don't want to say backup keeper, but you need to have another great keeper on your roster, right? We saw what happened in Oakland this year, where I think it ended up like their starting keeper down the playoff run was their third keeper at the beginning of the season, right? So guys want to leave or aren't happy in their situation, and then they go somewhere else. They cancel their contract. Like Tampa Bay in the final, right? You are playing a backup keeper. Like you need to have it. It can't just be one and then a drop off. It needs to be like a 1 and a 1A, especially in USL where anything can happen, right? And Austin Guerrero proved himself last year. I think, with most USL players, it's not like you're going to be 99 on FIFA on everything. So, yeah, you're going to expect they're going to make mistakes, right? You're going to have an errant pass, but no one like gets on you for like an errant cross that goes out of bounds. But the goalkeeper version of that is like a huge mistake because you're so close to your goal, everything is amplified. So like goalies are, unfortunately, don't touch the ball a lot, and when they do, it's really important. So I was really happy that Austin step up and really kept the team moving in a good direction. It was unfortunate when some of his mistakes happened in really key moments. If they happen in a different game when you're up 3 goals, it feels different, right? But I think there's a spot for him, and I think he would say he has enough skill to fight for that number one job and make it really hard. Yeah, you played in La Liga, but the sport is what have you done for me lately? So, I mean, guys can play in all sorts of leagues and then just not really have it when they get down to your team. I'm looking forward to that battle, that goalkeeper battle. If Austin Guerrero gets officially announced that he's coming back.
Yeah, and I mean,
yeah.
competition's always good. Last season, we talked to Austin when they signed Trey Muse, and he wasn't a little stoked about it, right?
He wasn't
Trey
happy
Muse,
about it. It was
he's
like,
a
oh, yeah,
kid. He's
great.
what, 21? So in Austin's like, he's a kid. Oh,
Yeah.
you signed this kid to replace me or to get a start against me. Okay. But now you signed what on paper is a legit goalkeeper from professional European soccer. But expectations are really high for this goalkeeper. I know you want to ask him, Tony. You want to ask, okay, the first time you get to talk to him, like, okay, what sparked your interest in coming to the U.S.?
Oye, Coque Vegas, ¿qué fue lo que te interesó a ti venir aquí a San Diego? Enhorabuenas.
Oh man, you say that like that, he might slap you.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah,
He's
I
gonna think
can't,
you're mocking
100%. But actually, I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you know this, Alan. I like the Charly announcement. Unfortunately, was tipped before, literally tipped of Coque signing as I was at the training ground as San Diego Loyal states. Not many people know this, but I actually discovered Koke because he once saved Tony from a pretty serious crossbar injury.
You okay?
So I'm okay. Thanks to Koke. So thank you, Koke, for that. That whole thing, this whole week with like little things like this has been very wild for me. Like it's just like surreal that people are doing like.
I'm telling Tony, he's famous now.
I'm not.
He's famous,
Please,
right? Rally, he's famous.
No.
No. I'm not sure he knows how to say this, but he's kind of a big deal.
Oh yeah.
So, I'm actually sitting sidebar with a big deal at work because Mr. Chiva over here is like back to back employee of the month, and they promised him they promised him a brand new little sweater, which on the side it's printed. I'm a big deal.
Been waiting for that sweater for like 3 months already.
Yeah, well, you're never gonna see it.
But anyways, yeah, Tony's a big deal around San Diego in the soccer world now. But it's exciting to have this player see what he brings to the table. Like you said, Alan, like he needs to prove himself first.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, too, his play style is like, probably tiki-taka, which lends itself exactly to what Landon is trying to do and playing out the back. And so it's going to be very interesting. He's younger than Austin, I believe, but that's just one player. Is there any new signings that also kind of sparked your interest? And going up until, today or yesterday, I don't even know. Yesterday there was a new signing. But
as we check the comments real quick, there's a cool comment from Nick. He wants to know Alan's thoughts on the Kiwis that the team announced.
Yeah, I think 3 of them. I think that was kind of spoiled at the release party. I am always for making Nick happy. Like if Nick's happy, I think most people are happy. So I am very happy that there are multiple people that he can take pictures with after the game. Kyle Adams has been around the league for a bit with Real Monarchs, so that's a very interesting signing. When they started signing center backs, you knew someone was probably not coming back. So I was a little bit sad when they announced him at the beginning. So I was like, which center back ain't coming back? But I am excited to welcome some new Kiwis to the team. If they bring anything like the energy Nick brings, we will be in good company. I'm super interested in Evan Conway. He played at Union Omaha in League One last year. From the people I've chatted with about Evan Conway, is that he is a quality human being and is a very good player. They are excited to see what he does on the pitch, right? We've seen this from a couple of teams. Phoenix just picked up the other striker from Union Omaha, Greg Hurst. We're seeing some guys being picked from League One to move up to the championship, and that just means that the ecosystem is working, right? We saw this with Damas with Orange County, Toomey and Stoneman, and now new loyal Nick Moon all played together under Nate Miller in Michigan in League One. But for sure, Evan Conway, I think watching a young guy really blossom again and score some goals, I think is going to be a really fun journey to go on with him. So that's the one I'm the most intrigued by, just because he is this guy stepping up another level, who is very popular with the Union Omaha fans and said that we are going to get a good one. So I'm really excited to see what he's going to bring to the table, kind of spearheading this attack with, Toomey getting even better than he was with some touches in the box to play it off to him for him to bang him home. I'm all for it.
And then obviously we had a signing from across the pond.
Yep.
Mr. Vassell, correct? Kyle Vassell from the great jolly old England, another Englishman.
Now, Tony, I don't know if you remember this. There was a guy training with the team last year.
Yes.
It was from what they've hinted, I think this is the same guy.
I think so. Yeah, because the other guy was not Eugene, like something like that couldn't get a visa and he wasn't able to come in. They announced him, but the only other person could have been Kyle Vassell.
And he looked like he was handling his own, especially for a guy who was he just showed up to training, was just training with the team, wasn't working in their system for months.
Yeah. I thought it was Nicky Jackson looking really good. I was like, oh, hey, what's up, dude? But my eyes are terrible.
Oh, yeah, they are.
I mean, he knows how to knee slide, which is important. the goal clip that they posted the other day of him just like scoring outrageous goals was also very exciting.
You want to take a look at it, Alan?
Yeah,
This is
let's
the type
do
of
it.
technology we have at Two Balls and a Mic.
These are like FIFA goals. Some of these, like, real people don't score these goals, and then you see some of these that are just, was that illegal throwing? But look at that shot, like, oof, that's pretty brilliant. I think that was an illegal throwing, but anyway,
they won't call that.
I digress. It's a championship. Like this one, like the control off the chest is insane. Like if that's me, that I'm breaking 8 things. Like just
I could have stopped
it's
that
so
one.
pretty.
I could have stopped that one.
Yeah, this guy definitely has the scent for goal. He's the type of striker. He's the poacher that knows if his back's turned against the goal, when he turns, he knows where he needs to shoot because he knows where the goal's at.
And that's the thing. He's gonna shoot. Like
Yes.
from this, when former apparently, hopefully, I don't know, might be announced. Corey Hertzog was announced. There was a lot of tap-ins in those highlights, and being at the right place at the right time, a Chicharito type
style,
player,
yeah.
yeah. But from what I'm seeing from Kyle Vassell, again, this is a highlight reel because this might be a highlight reel from a span of 10 years or whatever. But from what I see, most of his goals come from him taking shots, like having the chance, having a good look on goal, and just rocketing it into the net, or at least trying. And so that's going to be important, something that San Diego Loyal for the past 2 years has struggled with. They can play the ball through the midfield. They can move it up, down. They can give it back to the goalkeeper, throw it back up. But as long as you don't shoot, there's no point in doing any of that.
And what I'm thinking, what could happen here with Guido taking shots, with him taking shots, with Jack Blake taking shots, there's going to be some rebounds, and there's going to have to be one player there to score those rebounds. And my mind directly goes to Tumi Moshobani there.
Yeah.
He knows where to stand in the box. He's fast. He's quick. He knows how to react from rebound. I have a feeling he's going to get a lot of those easy goals, and someone has to score them.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm very excited what this attack is looking like, and I'm hoping they keep announcing a few more players because, again, you need depth. We saw it last season. There was a lot of injuries. They had an insane amount of depth. They had 6 players out, and they were still competitive. So they have to keep announcing some more players.
And I haven't seen a single loan. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's incredibly important too.
Yeah, you're looking at, maybe one more backup, left back, right back kind of player. I think you have maybe one more center back. I think you need a little bit of midfield depth for your holding mids, maybe, depending on where Nick Moon plays. Like, this is the problem. Like, we're getting into the situation of you have more than 11 players who can start, right? This was their philosophy at the beginning. Like, we don't want 11 starters and 5 or 6 backups. We want 17, 18 starters that we can plug and play depending on what we need. Evan Conway, again, Omaha, 32 appearances, 16 goals. So about a goal every other game, which, if he can replicate that at the championship level, we're talking about another scoring threat on top of Toomey, on top of Vassell. And you have different types of players who can fit in those different roles. So if you need, a particular striker or a pair of strikers, I think you have multiple options where you can play Toomey up top, or you can play Toomey in more like that 10 role, playmaker guy. I think that they're finding guys that can fit in a couple different places, and they can rotate them around and really think about how they're going to set up against their opponents. But you got to find that next that backup Metcalf, because I think that definitely hurt last season, not having someone who can perform that well. I'm not sure you can find a guy who will back up. That is a Jack Metcalf light, but I think that might be a younger player on loan like we did last year with redheaded kid.
Laras.
It's named
Ollie Laraz.
Yeah, Laraz. Yeah, you're looking maybe for that kind of backup guy where it's a younger kid who has the skills that you want to develop, but maybe isn't going to get minutes at an MLS team and is maybe not an MLS next style player. So that'll be interesting as well with that landscape to see how many loans come out.
And that's going to happen during the season, right? There's going to be new players coming in almost until at least the deadline, right? I don't know, Alan, when's the deadline for trade loans?
So there's not really a trade window that closes. It's a roster freeze. Last year it happened, I think, at the end of September, where it's just your roster can't change past this date. And then if you want a guy to be able to play in the playoffs, he has to play at least one game before the roster freeze.
I mean, I love having Alan here to explain this stuff. This is type of stuff that sometimes we don't know. So thank you, Alan, for being here today.
If you're listening to this, Alan Underwood is the top premier USL mind
by
in
far.
San Diego, even used and utilized, and perhaps just like not given enough respect up in Orange County, where they have 3 other just, jackals just trying to just nip at anything that they can up in interest in Orange County. Shout out, we love those guys. It was fantastic. We shout out Orange County and Orange Black Soccer.
But yeah, there's gonna be players like that coming in midway through the season or before that happens, and you saw it last season with Laraz. You saw it with who was another player that came like midway.
You had a couple. You had Brett
el
Mayer.
Hondureño. What's his name?
Douglas Martinez.
Douglas Martinez also came in like during the season. So that's going to happen. The roster's going to change a bit from what it's going to be preseason and beginning of the season. And I think Landon and Nate did a good job last season maintaining that depth during the team. And it's something that I'm looking forward to them continuing this season.
How could we forget, gentlemen? How can we forget? We're talking about signings, re-signings, who's going, who's leaving, who's staying. The biggest signing in San Diego Loyal offseason, guys.
Oh, are you talking about El Jefe de Jefes?
Landon Donovan's coming back.
Yeah, he got announced.
I was not
At
necessarily
first, I was
shocked.
like, oh man, he's coming back from retirement. He's gonna play with the team, player coach.
4th retirement.
But yeah, so obviously him and him coming back as coach, good deal. Hopefully keep him for another 2-3 years, because I don't see him staying here for that long.
Like he said, he wants to bring a championship to San Diego, and if he accomplishes that, I think he'll look elsewhere to kind of develop his career.
I think people are going to start, if he wins a championship at USL, he's going to have like job opportunities galore. I think because if you can prove yourself, like, hey, it's great that you're a great player, but you have to prove yourself as a great coach, or at least a good coach that can get a team to succeed in the playoffs. Like, I think if he does that, he can go where he wants to. He might stay like a vice president of something with Loyal, but yeah. And I think Nate Mill is another coach who can probably be a head coach other places pretty easily. So the fact that both of them are coming back, I think, speaks to like the desire to really build something here and get something done that they don't feel they've accomplished yet. So I'm excited about both of those. I forgot in the Charly section. See, I'm practicing. That I did see the joke about Landon Donovan's other team is Mexico, and that's like why that meme will never die. I do think it's funny that Leon is one of their club sponsors. For him famously coming out of retirement to go play down there. Did he get a game? I think he got a game.
Oh yeah, he got it. Yeah.
But it just speaks to, I think, when they talked about wanting to see something out, I think it means a lot to the fan base to actually see them commit to that. We'll see what he does over a full season in conference play, but they've proven in the past that they know what they're doing, and they still have people's trust, so let's keep rolling with it.
Over 30 games in a regular season. We've been here once under similar circumstances. The first year was different, obviously the first pandemic year and the first year of San Diego Loyal's existence. There was an offseason last year. There was a base of a team that was created. Alan, obviously you have a little bit more knowledge on who the players were coming into it. Now we know familiar faces. We know what they play like. You have a good ear on the USL, as I said, part of the USL show as well. Does this roster right now, is this base good enough to win the championship?
Oh.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say they're good enough to win a championship, but it's not like I don't want to say that in a way that's like guaranteed, right? Like, this is the best club on paper for sure. I think it's a very good club. I think they're going to have some things go their way in this season to end up at a championship, but I think that's pretty much true of every club, right? Otherwise, the Phoenix and Tampa Bays would win every single year because they're the ones that seem to get all of the big signings. I think Lou City's in that argument too, as far as just spending and bringing people in and making splashes. But I mean, I think we saw this San Diego team, play Phoenix really well, and win games that they probably shouldn't have won, and found a way to get points in other games. And we saw them go on a really good win streak. And so I think it's just a matter of timing for this team as well, right? You can't peak early and then kind of coast in the playoffs. I think this team is going to be one that needs to build into the end of the season and really think about how they're setting their last 10 games up, and then hope those 10 games go the way that you want them to go. I think this team can win a championship, but I think that there's some other teams that it's going to be you're going to have to get through a Tampa Bay. Lou City's been signing people like crazy. Haji Berry is dangerous in Colorado with that team. You always have Phoenix, so it's El Paso. Is San Diego in that conversation yet? I think they have to prove it first. But I can see this club, when it's playing its best soccer, is a championship side soccer team. The problem is, the margins are super thin. So a freak injury to kind of your offensive engine, and then we're talking about a different club, right? So I think they can win a championship. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibilities. I wouldn't put them as my favorite to win, if that makes sense. If I was an odd betting, I wouldn't put them as the favorite. But I'm not sure they would want to be put down as the favorite either. I think they it feels like they want to earn it, right? They don't want to be well, they've signed a bunch of players. It's go out there and prove it, and then throw down in a playoff, win your first playoff match, go deeper in the playoffs, and then we can talk about is this core a championship core? Right now we've made the playoffs. So I think that there's some unfinished business. And I think that the vehicle that we're putting together is going to be a competitive vehicle for sure.
All right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, Alan's the expert when it comes to USL. You asked me, I'm going to say, this team looks pretty good and they can compete for the USL. Do I think they can win a championship yet?
Off camera, there were air quotes, but it's all good. Continue. It's all good.
No air quotes. No, I gotta agree with you. But Alan, I'm curious to know, you are always down there asking questions post game with me and Tony.
Just blisters in his hands.
Hopefully, this season is both of us there.
Hopefully, we can both be there.
Yeah, but what are you looking forward to the most at Torero Stadium this next season?
What am I looking forward to the most? I do miss the people. I miss that community that tends to happen every home game. Guys, you realize that we're in a podcast. Can you just not drink so loud, please? We have 3 dogs, so it's just going to happen all the time.
Who do you think you are asking them?
Yeah.
Who do you think you are? You're in their house.
Right. No, I really like the people, and there were even games where maybe it wasn't the result that people wanted or that I wanted, but it always felt like there was a party beforehand, there was a community afterwards. I miss that, and I miss seeing. I'm looking forward to seeing how the team comes together and plays, because San Diego has always been a very entertaining team to watch. Even when they're frustrating, they're still very entertaining. And so I'm looking forward to seeing just that next iteration of what San Diego Loyal soccer is going to look like on the pitch. And hopefully some more goals this season.
Yes.
But yeah, I miss the people a lot, on and off the pitch. I miss it's part of the process. It's not about results. It's about the process, quotes. And I'm definitely going to miss, I've definitely missed coaches giving answers where they say everything but say nothing. Those are always my favorite.
Oh, you mean Landon's famous sayings "Hey, Landon, what do you think of the game?"
I think the game was was a really tight.
Oh,
game.
hey, Landon,
Really
do you think
tight.
you can speak up a little bit?
It's because it was a really great match, and I think the boys played really hard in the beginning. And yeah.
I think I gotta have a microphone on my GoPro because I couldn't hear.
Yeah,
any of that.
we need to put a GoPro microphone in him. There you go. I'm not gonna be allowed now to be.
Yeah,
next,
you're not
next
allowed.
To Landon.
Yeah, you're bullying Landon.
So talking about the people, it's nice to mention. And I actually have a question about it, and it kind of relates. The Chavos tomorrow are having a drum circle. The 19th, that's going to be at Centro Cultural de la Raza on Park Avenue. It's pretty much, if you've gone to a away game, it's where the buses pick you up just across the street. You can Google it, check out the Chavos de Loyal account for information on that. But I did have a question, Alan, as far as Adrian and whatever the hell he's doing with his drum, because this man is like...
You mean Lupita?
Yeah, like, he just treated this drum with such care and just, did beautifully on the design of it. What is the difference, and what's going to be different about this drum? I don't know have you heard it? Have you heard him play?
I have, yeah, I watched the video.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
I haven't.
So it's definitely different than what was heard in 109. So what's going on there with Lupita? Like, something got changed? Do you like it? Are you looking forward to it? Like, are you? I mean, you can play anything.
We're reaching
like,
Alan's musical expertise now.
I can't wait for Alan to play the spoons in 109. Just beautifully.
I prefer washboard actually to spoons, but
I'll let you borrow mine.
Not with clothes, just with.
Mine's more like a jug.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. So each drum, like, I'll try to be as least nerdy as possible. So like each drum has its like own
Nate Miller
own unique like tone to it based on like how deep it is, what kind of wood, like it has its own resonance. So every drum has its own kind of like characteristic vibe to it, if that makes sense, right? Like we all speak slightly differently because of who we are and our body makeup. Each drum is a little bit like that, right? Unless you're buying like the same drum from the same manufacturer, that they'll all have similar like tones, right? They're like identical twins. So each drum, especially each brand, has its own unique kind of fingerprint. So some tend to be boomy at different notes, right? Some tend to resonate best at a specific kind of frequency. So each drum you want to get in that frequency to really maximize both the articulation, so what rhythm you hear, and also what kind of like sound you wanted to produce, how big and boomy you want, or how dry you want.
I love that.
So
You didn't understand any of that, huh?
No, I get it. I mean, I know you're a musical expert yourself,
I mean,
Chiva.
I went to a school of creative and performing arts, Chula Vista High School. So.
Disgusting. Ugh.
So I understood
It's like
everything you said.
it's like T-Pain. It's like T-Pain and Celine Dion are gonna sound different.
Yes.
So
different,
and each of them have
manufacturers.
their own quality characteristics. And so some drums are T-Pain and some drums are Celine Dion.
This is why
T-Pain without
you
autotune still
should
sings
be a music
great.
teacher, Alan. That was pretty
Have
good.
you considered a musical career?
That'd be pretty
I'll
good.
I'll look into it. It seems like a lot of work.
So what I understood from that is shit's gonna get fucked up in 109. So I'm looking forward to that. Like, it's gonna be great. I'm incredibly excited for everything that's happening in 2022 with San Diego Loyal.
When are we getting some trumpets up in 109?
Do you play trumpet?
Can
Can you do the one man band thing?
Oh,
Like
man.
one man band, Alan?
No, I've never tried that. I can play brass instruments, but let's just say like 90 minutes of playing that loud is pretty exhausting. Like I
What
don't
about
want to do
60?
that. I don't want to do that.
Just some
Plus, it's like you
songs.
have to play like the specific notes, and then some people don't sing to those notes, and it's like, unless you're like doing it really well, just get rid of it. Like, unless you're paying some guy to
sounds like
show up.
109 needs a music teacher.
Yeah,
to
like they
take
need a
the
music
lead.
lesson. You should show up tomorrow, which
yeah.
I was loyal on the 19th. Check out that
I
drum
wonder if there's a
circle.
music teacher in 109.
We need new songs too, guys. Get on the songs. Like, I'm sorry, but everybody, locals,
I'm
chavos,
gonna write
like,
a song. I'm
do
gonna
it.
write one.
Do it.
It's gonna be a
and
hit.
Alan's
Go for
gonna
it.
help you. Alan's gonna help you. Like, it'll be great.
And it's gonna be a
Um,
dedication to Tony, our famous San Diegan, Tony
Well,
Sanchez.
Jesus Christ, please don't do that. They're gonna hate that. Everybody,
The
gonna hate
whole
that.
Torero Stadium's gonna be chanting your name. Damn. And you're gonna get that one-day contract.
But yes, Alan, like, we need to make that happen. Like, that's the thing. Like, the next thing is to test the power of this podcast is if I can get a one-day contract with the Sockers and or Loyal, because then that would make me a professional soccer player.
I put the scenario in Tony's mind already. It's for some reason
would never
two of the players got got COVID and no one was available, and they had to get a last-minute replacement goalkeeper to be on the bench, just sit
Yeah.
on the bench. And
It's
who
like-
else to call but Tony Sanchez?
It's like in hockey where you have like the equipment manager used to play goalie in like high school once, and so
Yeah.
he like sits on the bench in the goalie gear as a backup. Oh, I would love that job. Like that is my job. The guy who just sits on the bench in uniform just in case something happens and nothing ever happens.
Oh shit!
I'm that guy.
Oh.
And then if something does happen, it's like, oh, he was that guy. It's all right. It's all right. He let in 12 goals. He was that guy, right?
Yeah,
That's-
exactly.
That's my role.
And then I get one stop on Shannon McMillan and never stop talking about it.
Landon's
You're
next.
now
Landon,
what?
you're
Ted
next.
Was that Ted Bundy? Is that the guy from Married with Children where he just like relives his high school football glory days? I can see you in like 40 years, be like, yeah, but that one time,
One time.
did you see that I stopped Shannon McMillan? Like it was athletic.
He's
that
gonna
one
become the
time.
Jimmy Conrad. He's gonna start saying, "Roll the clip."
Roll the clip. I should do that. Wow, that's actually genius. No, that's the equivalent of, hey, I'm at a Foo Fighters concert. Everybody's fingers fell off. Is there anybody in the audience that can play Foo Fighters on acoustic right now? Me. And then you get called up and you play it, and it's great.
They make movies about that stuff.
Yes. One can only dream. My movie would be great. I would play me, right? I'd have to. It'd be easy on the budget.
You're
Um,
You want like Lou Diamond Phillips? Like
That's not. That's an insult. He's not even Mexican. You know about that, right? Diamond
what?
Phillips, La Bamba.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Shame. Great shame.
My Spanish teacher would play it every Friday. high school.
No wonder your Spanish is so great.
we do study La Bamba, and I like found a clip. I was like of the song to play for the kids, but it was like someone had put in, instead of like actual Richie Valens pictures, like just pictures of Lou Diamond Phillips. I was like, why? This isn't his song. Why would you even? Why would you do that? Like there is a real person named Richie Valens who did sing
man.
the song. Just put his picture in the YouTube video. You could do the same montage, because half of the pictures were from the movie.
For being
Like they don't know.
For being 17, Richie Valens did look pretty rough. Like this is pretty.
Oh, that's also like I show a picture like that kid's 17. I'm like, yeah, he was 17. Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm looking forward to the season. Man.
Yeah, 100%. I want to start winding it down. I know you have a household full of dogs that are just chomping at you. Attention.
Look
What
at
is
me, human.
what is the game on the preseason schedule you're looking forward to, Alan?
I actually just had this conversation. I was like, well, the first one's on my birthday. I would like to go to that one, but I kind of need to go to the Xolos match.
Yeah.
I have to make that happen. So that one for sure is circled. If there's a way I can like sneak into like the San Diego State match, like I can like wear a beard and glasses or a mustache and glasses and pretend I'm somebody else, I'd like to go to that one. But I think there's something special from especially the last Xolos match. I always forget how you pronounce the other half of their name, so I just stop at Xolos, like Xolos.
I had to do it a couple of times during the broadcast.
Los Xolos
Xolos, like dicen Xolos Quinclet, like some like
Los Xolos Quincles.
yes, but like there's an even more Mexican
Yeah.
pronunciation of it.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Like I only remember when I watched their games in on the Spanish broadcast. I was like, oh, that's how you say the other half, and then I forget right away. It's like not important. But I think that one's the big one. I think everyone's gonna circle. MLS is great, but there's nothing like that Tijuana San Diego matchup.
Absolutely, and they are looking forward to it too, and we'll get to that when we talk about everything that went down in Estadio Caliente for us. But again, thank you, Alan, for joining us. This is
We hope to have
honestly
you back
a pleasure.
soon.
This is fantastic. I love having you here. We missed you. We missed your face. We missed your voice. We were getting concerned that you were just gonna be an Orange County fan at this point, and just dedicate yourself to that. But really looking forward to seeing you again, and fortunately, we will have soccer in San Diego for another year. Please let everybody know where they can go ahead and find you.
You can find me at Underwood48 on the Twitter machines. It was a pleasure coming on. I do miss both of you, chatting with both of you guys. And next time, I have yet to to go to a Xolos match in person in Tijuana, so we'll have to plan a. I know Darren and the guys from that other whatever podcast that doesn't have a name. They talk about going down, but I think we need to set it up where we do it on our own.
And we're not gonna take you to the taco spot we went to. We're gonna.
I heard.
It was sad.
Bad tacos.
It was bad times. But yeah, no, definitely we're going to do that. We asked them, hey, when are they coming over? By the way, not to put people on blast, but we asked them like, hey, it would have been really cool if Loyal would have come over here for this one, and they're like, yeah, that's what we said Xolos people. But I think it's more on their end thrown under the bus. Like, okay, I don't care. It's fine. It'll happen. I know it's going to happen. It's going to have to happen. But in any case, thank you, Alan, once again. We love you. We love you, Alan. We do. Oh, Alan, we love you. Thank you. You're the best.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon. We'll chat soon.
Gracias.
That is man.
What a
guy.
What a guy.
What a guy,
I love me some Alan.
Oh yeah.
As he's still in the side, like I can look at him and he's still smiling because he's still on the Zoom call.
Yeah, to find the leave button.
Definitely check out Alan on Twitter for sure, and
at Alan Underwood,
and check out everything that he takes part in, man. Yeah,
100%.
But Tony, we went to Tijuana this Saturday, and we were there all day.
Fuimos a Tijuana. We were there all day.
For over 12 hours, for sure.
For over 12 hours as I slaved away and I worked.
You worked. You went to work.
I legitimately worked, and I was actually hit up today again. I don't know what it's about.
When I'm telling you guys, Tony Sanchez is becoming famous, it is not a joke. This guy went to work for the Xolos Quintles de Tijuana. So, tell us what happened. You got hit up. We hit up our contact for
the boy.
For Loyal. We're allowed to say his name?
Yeah. Don
Vergas. Miguel Vargas. Shout out to Miguel Vargas. Great guy over. Everyone for Xolos was great. But he's our main point of contact when we hit Xolos up, and we are like, oh, it's their home opener against Leon. It's a big game, their 15-year anniversary. Let's hit him up, see if maybe we can go. We
would have been there earlier and gone to a Liga MX game already, but COVID and stuff, protocols over there, protocols in TJ, protocols at that stadium, protocols everywhere are stricter than they are even here and have been. Like we never did the little feet cleaning thing. They're still doing temperature checks.
Yeah,
they're still doing everywhere.
You go to an Oxxo and you gotta do a temperature check
everywhere. It's wonderful.
But so he hit us back up and he said, "Yeah, man, we'd love to have you guys. It'll probably only be one of you guys." And we're like, "Oh, okay, well."
The conversation started too with talking about the San Diego Sockers match. Let's just say that. It was like, true. "Oh, you looked awesome."
You know what?
Like,
you know what? I got to go to LA for a Chivas game.
Thank you.
I was like, if they asked just for one of us because of COVID guideline, I told you, Tony, this is all you. You get to go. But then he asked you, hey, you down to commentate some games with me?
Yeah. So the conversation then just went into that direction and say, hey, there's the under 18s, under 20 games before the actual match. Like, obviously, he saw, because we do the San Diego Inter for UPSL. Shout out San Diego Inter. He saw that we did that, and so he asked me. I'm like, yes.
You down?
Like, like it's an opportunity. Like, I have to. Like, even if like I have.
I feel like you let me know. Yeah, Tony's such a nice guy.
I have to do it.
He hit me. I was like,
I felt bad,
dude. Like,
I felt bad.
Asked me, not you. And I'm like, dude, your success is the podcast success. It's not. It's. If I do something great and I get to do something great, then that looks good on the podcast. You do something great and you get asked stuff like that, dude. It's great for two balls and a mic. Two balls and a mic is more than just one person.
Yeah,
it's more than just the two of us at this point. We got Mike. We got Osvaldo Sanchez.
We got our intern.
We got Tony's paycheck somewhere around here. It's great.
Well, I literally pasted like. I got my 400 pesotes.
So, I mean, you got
okay,
some. Well, I mean, we're getting ahead of ourselves. So
ahead of ourselves.
You commentate the under 18. We get there at 11:30. Tony had to be there at 12. We didn't know if I was gonna be allowed to go in early. My arrival time because I was gonna get the press pass for the
For
Liga
the-
MX game was 6 o'clock. I had to pick up my credential at 6 o'clock. You had to be there since 12. So you go in.
By the way, Chelsea
your
tied
own
against
thing.
Brighton. We're still going to talk about European soccer, but I'm just throwing that in there because it's a long episode and that's it.
We're not
'cause
talking
we
European
have,
soccer.
we
We're not
have a
talking
lot to
European
talk
soccer
about.
today. We're sticking to our continent.
Oh ow, ow.
Anytime I get to talk shit about Chelsea, I'm down.
But yeah, so yeah,
So you go in. I told you, you know what? I'll wait here in the car. It was
literally
raining a
wait
little
in the
bit.
car.
I had to hit up the casino, which I'll talk to a little bit. But
Well, okay, you hit up the casino, and that was your merry way. Like
at that time, yes.
that was the plan. I go up and then
I chilled there. I wasn't going to chill in the car for like 6 hours.
yeah.
So I was like, let me go to the casino,
So
get something to drink,
yeah.
gamble a little bit.
and you did,
And
te
so,
fue bien. It
but
was
during
good.
that time, you were there. Tell it what happened first time you go in.
All right, so I go in there, and obviously they check, they credential me, they check my vaccination card, and then I walk into the media area, and a lot of our friends that have had the chance to go into and do that know what area I'm talking about. It's just like a little bit of mixer, but I'm there incredibly early,
Always.
and so not like early,
Always.
but like just like early for like any operations.
no
The game
one's
is at
there
7.
yet.
I'm there at noon. That's 7 hours of preparation that
yeah.
things go into a stadium. But then I walk into it, and it was weird. It was like an episode of The Office, but Xolos.
That's freaking
Because
crazy.
everybody's
That's
there
dope.
having a job. I'm just there sitting there like
Hola.
I'm the guy doing narration. I'm the guy doing commentary.
Hola.
Like I'm there. I'm like I'm doing commentary. I still wasn't sure exactly. Like my fear was like I'm gonna be the color commentator. Like I'm like aquí viene esto se la pasa aquí adentro.
No.
El triángulo
I mean, I told you.
Like,
You're not. That's not.
that's
you're
not me.
that guy. You're not
Like,
that guy.
no, I'm not. I am in
You
English.
could be.
In
You
English.
could be, yeah.
It's so weird. It's the
You're
wildest
better
thing.
in English at it.
Losing
Yeah.
a language, Chiva, it's so sad. Like it's so sad. I used to be able to speak perfectly. Like I still
I think
obviously
you
I still
can,
speak.
but
I
it's
can.
under
I
the
need the
pressure.
confidence.
It's yeah.
I need the confidence to speak
We
in
need to
Spanish.
practice more.
That's why we have Two Balls y Leal. Check out Two Balls y Leal if you speak puro español.
If we keep doing Inter, we might have to tell them, hey, can we start doing one in English,
Some in
one in
Spanish.
Spanish, or half and half?
So yeah, so then I get walked into. The guy telling me pretty much you're going to be Jorge Campos. If you're familiar with it, there's Martinoli who does a
Giving
so
a
that's
little
that
bit
guy.
of expertise.
And then the little bit of expertise, a little sprinkle of like, all right, so what did you see in that play, Tony? Oh, well, you saw the goalkeeper was very brave in coming
and he
out of
let
that
you
save.
speak English.
Yeah, and so it was bilingual. So it was a good dynamic because a lot of the kids in that academy live in the U.S. and there is
I'm from Chula
it's,
Vista.
it's wild. So it was really fun. It was a really incredible experience. We got some cool pictures out of it. It was in the Fox booth. So when Martinoli and Luis Garcia and Jorge Campos, go and do commentary at a Xolos game,
Yeah.
they're in that same booth. So that was fucking great.
That's crazy.
That was great. It was just like, again, last week, the biggest thing that I've done for with the podcast, thanks to the podcast, was play at the San Diego Soccer's halftime game. Fast forward a week, like I'm commentating in a professional
In front of like a couple hundred people.
like 900
YouTube.
people. Like it was
That's
was
just
wild.
YouTube. I don't know how many there were on Facebook.
It was YouTube, Facebook, yeah, and so a lot of
Oh.
people use Facebook.
I would say a couple hundred people, maybe like 300-400 people for each game.
yeah, and so
Which is, I mean, it's for UPSL, you end up seeing those views, and it's like a couple thousand, but that's throughout the week.
throughout the week. Yeah, no, these were live. So that didn't affect me. Like it was weird. Like I wasn't nervous for that. Like I wasn't nervous for in front of
think,
people.
is it
I was
more
more nervous of like the
impressing them?
Spanish. Like I wanted to
Okay.
do a good job. Like I needed to make sure. Like who knows? Like this might be a test. Like some sort of like, hey, like do this and
but
then.
you
like,
know, I think we can start. It'd be dope if we start embracing. Okay, our Spanish is not 100% perfect,
no,
and I think they know
it's
that.
pride.
I
And they
think
know
they
that.
know
I think
that.
they know that. But even
We
then,
grew up here
I
in San
know
Diego.
we can have like.
We can.
Aquí estábamos circulando.
You're so hard on
por la
yourself.
Aquí
I
la-
think who was it I was talking to? I think
Yes.
I forgot who I was talking to. That told me it
Pásale,
sounded
pásale.
great. Like I think it was Paul on Sunday,
Yeah.
and I told him, Tony's a little hard on himself. He thinks he did a shitty job, and he's like, oh, it sounded great.
I mean, honestly, to be completely honest, even now, like I haven't prepared it. Like I have no idea what it sounded like. I haven't listened to it back. I have to.
You don't want to. No, I'm just kidding. I was
shit.
watching some of it. No,
no,
it was good.
but like specifically when it comes to the second game and what
It's-
ended up happening and how that unfolded.
Okay, so before we got to the second game, that's when I was at the casino.
Yeah, you were at the
I
casino.
cashed in a parlay for my dad and for the NFL,
Mm-hmm.
and my plan was, okay, I'm gonna get to watch the Raiders game here. You know, Raiders against the Bengals, cool. I'm sitting there like right in front of the hole where they race the perros, the dogs, and I'm like, oh, there's no
dog racing,
races.
yeah.
There's no dog races right now.
Greyhounds.
I'm gonna go see if I can go play some blackjack or something.
Mm-hmm.
And you know me, I like to gamble, so I go put $160 on my card because you have to have a card. I'm like, okay, $160, fuck it, I'm down. You know, I'm not gonna lose it all.
Yeah.
I go in, they give me a total of amount like 3,000 something pesos, and I'm playing Ultimate Texas Hold'em. It's a card game if you're familiar with it. But I start playing, I'm losing, I'm down, and then you text me, hey, there's probably a chance that you can just come in already.
Yeah,
And I was like, ooh, let me know. So
Yeah.
I'm down so I can start wrapping this up.
And then your thing again, you wanted to watch the Raider game, and then I sent you a screenshot.
You had it on the big ass screen.
So the Xolos Caliente Stadium has the largest screen in Latin America.
yes.
I don't know who was in charge of it, but they threw the Bengals Raiders game as I was commentating in a professional Liga MX stadium. Like it's just wild at that point.
As I'm
Any
seeing
clips of your commentary,
Some of the comments. YouTube. The stream did lag a bit, like the video quality.
which makes me feel better about our.
But the audio
UPSL
sounded pretty
ones.
good. I was listening to the audio sounded pretty good. 619 Soccer is being hard on you. Then we got any clips of your commentary, which we're gonna watch.
We're gonna watch
$200
right
for
now.
your cartoon. Did you ever hit up my boy Angel?
No,
Dude,
it's not.
Mándalo a la
Sorry,
verga.
Angel. It's not
Mándalo a la
happening.
verga.
My dad wants it. In
could've
any
let me
case,
know. But anyways, so you hit me up. You're like, okay,
you go.
be here at 3, and I'm like,
That's
okay,
after
I'm
the
gonna.
first game. The
Yeah,
first game
I'm
ends.
like, I'm gonna start betting big now. If I lose the money, I lose it. Fuck it. I start betting big, dude. I hit some big hands. I end up going up 8,000 pesos. Like, I cash out at 8,000 pesos, which is
wild.
around like, what, like
Okay.
300 something.
So if you're listening, keep that 8,000 pesos mark in your mind. Like it just.
I cashed out 8,000 pesos from the
Just
casino.
keep the 1,000 pesos.
$1 now.
Yes, thank you.
So yeah, keep in mind 8,000 pesos in about 20 minutes. Keep that in mind. I get there, I cash out, I go to you. I'm like, okay, I'm here. I go in. They don't even check my anything. They're like, oh, you're gonna register? Yeah, just go in. I'm like, oh, dope, cool. I could have just lied about this. Anyways, I go in, say hi to Mike, everything. It's dope. I'm fascinated. I'm blown away. We're like, it says Fox in big letters. I'm like, and you're so casual about it. You're like, oh, what's up? Like, you're like a big timer now. You're
Hey,
like,
guys.
hey, what's up, man?
What's up,
Oh, yeah,
guys?
dude. Yeah, they have this.
Oh yeah,
Unlimited sodas.
You want
by
some
the
free
way.
soda? Yeah, I love that.
And free beer if you wanted one. They had the beer there.
Hey, they were there, and we didn't take any.
Yeah, I don't drink. I'm not
But
drinking.
definitely, so I think we can look at the actual palco. This is actually when you made it in.
Has anyone seen this video?
Nobody
No
has
one's
seen
seen
this
this
video.
footage, right?
I haven't actually edited it. All I did was I threw up the SIM card onto iMovie and I exported everything during the interview right now with Alan.
Uh-huh.
So now it's on YouTube, but it's private.
this is
it's,
unedited
it's
stuff.
It's raw footage.
Oh, wow. This is unedited stuff.
So this is the palco.
No audio? No,
au-
one listen
no
to audio?
I mean, like, peladeces. So boom.
No,
This
nos
is
portamos bien. I can't
this is
hear
the
it.
two balls in the mic logo, little sticker right there. So yeah,
You can hear the audio? I can't hear anything.
no, I can't. No, there's no audio
Why?
because I took it off.
Oh, okay. Cool. I was worried. Okay,
Okay.
cool.
Got it. Got it. So
The audio's on there now. Okay. Perfect.
You okay?
This is the part that I'm excited
all
to
right.
watch.
So then obviously they have that glass screen on the right side with the cameras and everything. So I'm getting ready for the second game. It's going to start at 3:45. At this point, at like 3, our boy was hungry, obviously, and it's their lunch. It's their work day. They're here at work. So they're going to go out and get a quick bite to eat at Carl's
Carlitos
Jr.
Jr.
And so they go to Carl's Jr., him and his intern. They go, and I'm like, great, cool. The time starts ticking. It's 3:15, 3:30.
Time went by like that. You
3:40.
were on the phone. We were just chatting up.
Yeah, no, the time flew. And so then we looked at the clock. I'm like, okay, it's 3:42. Let's start heading into the booth. I started heading to the booth. And then you obviously follow. We're gonna like, okay, let's do some content and let's talk about it a little bit.
So broadcast starts.
That's what
Fox
it sounds like
booth,
in there too.
Press
like-
box, the official Fox booth. This is where Martinoli. This is where Garcia. This is where the official
The big
broadcast
dogs.
starts.
The big dogs.
It's all the big dog. I mean, we're up there now, right?
Okay, yes, that is the camera dropping. That is the camera moving because shit is happening. And that little glass room next to me, I get a. Oye, muchacho. Ahorita vamos a empezar, okay? Ahorita te voy a dar el conteo. I think you
Te
can
dijo,
hear it,
vamos a
actually.
empezar contigo.
Yeah.
Like plug in the
really
mic.
about to be just me?
So I knew, like I knew in my heart, like they're not gonna make it back on time. Like they're not gonna make it back on time. So I like look at you like,
Is this really about to be just me?
When I'm telling you guys, I've never seen Tony I've seen him laser focus, but like this guy ignored me 1000% and just started looking for the lineups of this game, looking for everything. You can feel the tense, like how tense you were. You were shitting bricks, man.
100%, I was shitting myself.
Oh man,
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
I got scared a little bit, and then I'm like, oh, it's him talking, not me. Then I started laughing in
Yeah,
my mind.
yeah,
I'm like,
thanks for that. You're
this
just-
is
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Check, check.
great.
Not that one. Wait. What time does this
Sí,
game start?
vato.
You put the microphone down so,
So
gently.
Yeah,
like,
no,
ahí te digo, vamos a empezar contigo, güey.
did she say that right there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she did.
Game start. Not that one. Wait. What time does this game start?
Vamos a iniciar
Vamos a
contigo.
iniciar contigo.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna start with you. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, all right. Te voy a dar el conteo. I'm gonna do a
Oh,
countdown right
man.
now.
Do you need me to help? Hop
I'm
in?
like, here,
I was
take
like,
this.
Okay, so,
dude, I'll hop in, but I was like, you know what? Like, they didn't ask me. They said they're gonna start with you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you do your thing.
Good call, but not jumping in.
Tony's doing this solo to start it off. Like, he's doing this solo right now. The game's
It's
about
a
to
big
start.
deal, guys. Like,
It's crazy.
Hey,
remember,
yes,
we don't have degrees for this or anything like that. Most of these people have their degrees.
We're in a goddamn garage.
And now he's gonna commentate an under 20 match, which is still
Which
like,
has some of the professional
they have some of the youngsters that play in the first team.
youngsters, but and then some of the people that are
a lot of these players are gonna be players playing against Loyal.
He gets running a little late.
Yes.
Like,
Tony's shitting bricks, guys.
I was having the time of my
well,
life.
¿Nervioso, Tony?
Are you nervous, Tony? Just
Oh my god, this is great.
I was like, this is amazing content. Like,
So so that ended up happening. I have not seen this. I have not
oh,
heard
this
it back.
is just yourself. This
This
is
is
amazing.
just myself.
I didn't listen to this because I was in there with you.
I didn't listen to it because I was just making it up as I go. So all
Oh,
right.
you might cringe here. Who knows?
Bienvenidos aquí al Estadio Caliente. Mi nombre es Tony Sánchez de parte del Two Balls and a Mic podcast. Aquí vamos a empezar la transmisión de Xolos Quintles de Tijuana contra los Panzas Verdes de León.
It's not bad. It's not
I
bad.
can't tell you how much I hate that.
Like dude, you sold it. I think you did decent. Like, it wasn't bad.
Te voy a dar el conteo. Okay.
Bienvenidos aquí al Estadio Caliente. Mi nombre
That's literally like seconds after you saw that video. Like
Yeah.
seconds after you saw me just hunched over and like.
It's not bad. Like,
es Tony
dude,
Sánchez de parte del Two Balls and a Mic podcast. Aquí vamos a
I can feel the
empezar la
suspense, y'all.
transmisión de
That was pretty good.
Xolos
Yeah,
Quintles
it
de
was.
Tijuana contra los
Los
Panzas
panzas verdes.
Verdes de León.
Verdes.
Aquí
Like,
en la sub
for their nerves to be like that, and you pull it off, dude. I'm not gonna lie. And then Javi came in and kind of bailed you out a little bit. He
Yeah.
was commenting. He let you take lead though. He said, "I'm not about to take lead.
Okay.
You're doing this already."
Okay. So where did it happen?
I think
So
it's
then-
like 4 minutes in, something like that.
So as I'm trying to gather my bearings and be like, how am I gonna freaking do this?
Because at this point, you don't know how long. You could be the whole first
Like
half.
this guy could have gotten stopped. This guy could have gotten anything. So I'm going back and forth. I'm reading the lineups of the actual teams.
Lo comentaba Marcel Ruiz en la semana.
This guy works for Xolos. He knows the experts. It was the 15th
He's a-
anniversary.
he's a big
it
deal
was the
for Xolos.
15th anniversary of Xolos Quintles at Tijuana. And, I'm
and
here
this guy that came to
commentating.
bail you out, he's a big deal for Xolos.
Yeah, no,
Like,
he's a big guy
guy.
in there. So shout out to him.
¿Sabes? Lo que él decía, tenemos muchos jugadores que vienen desde las inferiores, que vienen desde fuerzas básicas. Eso es algo muy
Talking
bonito.
about the
porque ya
history,
tienes
about
gente
the-
I like your
the-
voice better.
The under 20.
estuvieron
I
en
like
la
your
tribu-
voice better.
Tú estás
Not gonna
hablando de
lie.
que estuviste con Joe
I may be a little
en
biased
la
here.
escuela.
Talking
Hoy
about
está
how
aquí
Joe
en
Corona-
el estadio,
I went to Joe
narrando
Corona,
a
was to
los
school with him.
próximos dando, y también es la importancia que tiene Xolos ya para Tijuana, para
Xolos Quintles Tijuana.
And so, okay, here we go. I'm starting to continue my story as I'm looking at the
Yes.
lineups and I'm reading the lineups on my laptop. And so there's a camera guy in front of me. And so as I'm reading the lineups, I see the camera guy like look back and say, just like wave
Yeah.
and like
Pay
point
attention to the fucking game, bro.
because he can hear what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so had it not been for this guy, this is the moment we start.
And that's how it
waving at me.
works. It's a team
Tenemos
effort.
al portero, arquero número 13, Alcalá.
I'm still narrating. Number 13, Alcalá.
Yeah.
The man already shot the ball.
Yeah.
I didn't see this.
Y aquí viene gol.
It doesn't sound bad though. You timed the shot like you said, viene gol cuando entró. It's not like the goal went and then you're like, oh, fue gol. Like that would have been bad.
Yeah.
That would have been bad. Had the goal been scored and you still freaking saying en la defensa derecha, oh, gol. That would have been bad.
There was a point where he said, all right, when the boy came back, he was like, oh, like, we're back, blah, 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 blah. How was the goal? Like what would the goal look
¿Quién
like?
sabe, güey?
And like, I was like, and then an action happened that had him having to stop that thought and commentate the game. And so I got saved by the bell by that one.
¿Quién sabe, güey? Estaba viendo los lineups, le habías dicho.
Tijuana. Abren el partido con un 1-0. Qué buena
Oh,
jugada
no,
por parte
¿neta?
de los Quintles.
1-0?
Dormidos y empieza bien la temporada 1-0.
Luego perdieron 2-1.
They did then lose 2-1. The under 18s also lost 2-1.
But the experience, man. Like, this is, I mean, I'm not going to lie. This kind of puts,
I don't know, man. Like,
It's a
this is
step up.
wild. Like,
It's a step in the right direction.
two balls and a mic is definitely looking up. Check out the actual narration, the commentary on the official Xolos website.
Yeah.
That's fucking wild to say. The fact that I got to plug the podcast. By the way, that
Yes.
should be a clip. The clip should start with me saying during the thing, Tony Sanchez did
Bienvenido,
two balls.
bienvenidos.
Podcast.
Yeah, that'll make the clip for sure.
Yep. Started with that. Trying to just like, again, this is raw footage. I don't want to. This is you looking at me.
Encuentro entre Xolos Quintles y León.
So much
I'm
dead air.
holding
So much
that
dead air.
microphone just
So much dead air,
tightly.
man. Come on.
Shut up.
Come on.
Después de que 2 meses ya sin fútbol.
This guy literally came in, just stood like next to me.
Yeah.
God bless him. But then obviously there was the actual game where we were both muted.
It wasn't
credentialed.
cold, but it was super windy,
It was
which
super
made it
windy.
cold.
Hearts. I have not been to a Xolos game, an actual Xolos game, for a while.
Oh, yeah.
The stadium is great. It's fucking fantastic.
The
It's
game was
gorgeous.
good.
It
I mean,
was a
they got
good
robbed
game.
at the end from that penalty, and the fans weren't happy, and they yelled some pretty bad stuff to the goalkeeper at the end.
So as I also have tech ball footage. Tech ball, boys and girls.
Shout out to everyone who
Tech
went to the tech ball thing. If you didn't go,
Shout out to the guy who won the San
No.
Diego Loyal jersey. San Diego Loyal
Yeah.
and tech ball.
to people that said they were going to go and didn't go, and now we couldn't get the tech ball table for San Diego
Oh
Loyal.
boy, we could have gotten it.
hate you right now.
It's all good. Hopefully they got it. In any case,
Game was good.
The game was good.
Like, we got to meet some cool people, handed out stickers to people.
Yup. I hung out with
We handed out
Victor
loyal
from
stickers,
the
too.
stuff. Handed out loyal stickers. You know,
We
just
essentially
shaking hands, kissing
we
babies,
essentially
just
met
everything.
Cholos, Sean Kelly.
Yes. It's the statistician dude,
Mhm.
a boy who's sitting next to us. Good conversation.
We met the Cholos, Sean Kelly, which was great.
And yeah, I mean, it was honestly a really cool experience to be able to do that, like to be asked to do that, like not even like
Mm-hmm.
you know, I've kind of nudged myself in some places. I'm like, hey,
You
you're
got
gonna
paid
have
for
to.
this, Tony.
I got paid for this, Chiva. I got paid
Now-
for it.
Under 18 game, 90 minutes of work.
It's work. I was tired at the end of
And
the day. I
then
was
and then
tired.
you're still on the clock, and then you have another game at 3:45. They're
100%.
20, and another 90
Say a
minutes.
part-time job for a day.
¿Cuánto te pagaron?
So then
How'd you
after
get
the
paid?
game, they're like, okay, you're gonna meet this person. They're gonna walk you to where you're gonna get paid. Oh boy! And then I did that, and I followed the line, and then I standing in line.
How much did you think? I
Literally
told you,
in a line with
maybe
a
like what,
literally
like
in
500
line
pesos a game?
with the security guards, with the people who are selling the papitas, with like everybody. Like literally, I'm a
Everyone's
Cholos
waiting
work.
for the
I'm a
paycheck.
worker.
Paycheck.
And so I'm just standing in line. I'm like, hey, like I'm this person. It's like, okay, they had to verify with some people, and then after about 20 minutes of waiting to be verified, I came out with my earnings of 400 pesos, 400 pesos. Let's go.
Remember when I told you keep in mind
Keep in mind,
8,000 pesos?
If you have-
This man did
if you
what?
think 400,
Like 5-6 hours of work,
like, wow, 400,
400 pesos. I
400 pesos
and some people make this in a day
in a day.
in their actual day job. I felt bad because I did 20 days of work in 30 minutes at the casino.
So for those of you that are wondering and are not familiar with pesos, if I have 400 of them,
About $19.
that's about, according to Google, $19.62.
What about 8,000 pesos?
8,000 pesos, even though it sounds like a lot, according to Google right now, it's about
Okay, almost 400.
almost $400. But you made that in
30
with
minutes.
with your dirty just. O sea,
No. ¿Qué? No, yo fui
anti-Dios.
a chingarme al hack, papá.
Anti-Dios. You
Yo
can't say
sí,
that.
yo
You
sé
can't
que
say
haciendo-
that. You
Yo estoy
can't
haciendo
fucking
cosas
say that.
chingonas. Y vine a ganar dinero.
Fuck.
Sí, güey, porque se me va a atacar con eso. No, güey, yo jugué legalmente, gané dinero.
Yeah, but like the actual word. Anyway, 400 pesos.
Yo lo que se me da la
It kind
gana.
of sucks. It kind of sucks that people have to live like that sometimes. You think about it and how fortunate we are to live on this side
Yeah.
of the border, and puts little things into perspective. Like 400 pesos.
I know
Now
you're gonna end up using that money when you go back to
technically now makes me a professional sports broadcaster because I got paid a professional international
yes,
sports
because
broadcaster.
Yeah,
because I can wheel them and deal them in both languages apparently well enough to be asked to do it, and
good shit.
maybe we'll do it again. So
That was some good shit, man. It
that
was a
was-
fun day overall.
except for the last part where we ate some tacos.
Oh, dude. Tacos Los Perrones? ¿Cómo se
Tacos
llamaban?
Los Perrones by near
Worst-
Tacos El Frank.
Worst.
Like
Don't
taconazo.
ever go to that place. I still can't taste
We
because of my
walked-
COVID side of it. I still can't taste.
We walked in there and we're like, well, I was like, I mean, you can't smell ish that day too.
Yeah.
Like, why does it smell like bacon in here? Like straight bacon.
It was bad. First of all, it took forever to get our food. And I've
So
never
bad.
seen this man leave so much food on his plate.
It was.
This is the type of
disgusting.
man that cleans the plate.
Cleans it, like regardless, like it clean it. But I left so much food. I didn't even feel guilty about it. Like so much, and they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing there. Like it's not good. It's not good what's happening there. Like we had a long wait to
Las
do at the
amaderas,
border.
baby. Yeah, that's where Angel always takes me. Las amaderas.
Las
Mis
amaderas
tres
is good.
salsas, las tres salsas, I think it's called something like that.
But yeah, so it was absolutely terrible.
And we went because it was on the way to the border, and we were in a hurry. Honestly, we just wanted to get home, but never making that mistake twice.
No. I felt compelled to create a Yelp account and look him up on Yelp, TJ, and leave a incendiary review stating that this food
garbage.
gave me COVID. And,
Didn't someone call their food hostile?
somebody called their food hostile. It was esta comida es hostil.
Yeah, no, that it was something else, man.
Shout out 609 Soccer with the autographed Joe Corona, still having a character building moments by Tony. Thank you, JP, Mr. J Pabs. But yeah, I mean that was an interesting day, and then we did tech ball the next day and watched some.
Tech
interesting
ball's
matches.
hard. That shit looks hard.
It looks very difficult, but
Like, damn.
the guys won $30,000 that way.
For reals. But yeah, man, overall dope experience. Liga MX happened this weekend, Tony, and just want to touch it a little bit because Chivas. I showed you the clip of
just want to touch it.
Oh, Chivas. What happened? They terrible. They had a great start to the tournament against Mazatlan, and they lose 2-1 to Pachuca based on 2 defensive mistakes. Like,
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, yes.
horrible, Tony. When I tell you, we sold our other goalkeeper for this guy, who's still great, but just I feel for him because the ball bounced right behind, like in a little patch of grass, and oh man, it was so bad. Like, oh, I hope this doesn't get. Well, I mean, you're not even gonna show it, right? Like, it'll get copyrighted.
Yeah, no, it'll be fine. Was that it? ¿Se salvan las Chivas? No, they don't. No se salvaron. Ugh.
Like, but bro, like,
Wow, that was an impressive goal. That was a long time.
Canelo, al nene, a Cisneros, a Ronaldo Cisneros,
Right there. That little bounce.
a Molina,
Little-
al Canelo, al nene,
little
I'll
patch of
show the
grass.
a
bounce.
Cisneros, a Ronaldo
So, like,
Cisneros, al
boop, right there.
Bounced over his foot.
That bounce over the foot. Like that deceptive gopher that just lives underneath the grass. Like, granted, it's still not supposed to pass.
I was in a hurry to leave tech ball to go watch this shit.
That's on you. You could have stayed. We had a great time. We stayed like 2 minutes and then used the porta potties and left.
Pinches Chivas, vato. Pinches Chivas, vato.
That's all you wanted to bring up for Liga MX?
Man.
Cool.
Yeah, they lost. Some big results happened this weekend as well. I mean, we want to try our best to cover as much Liga MX as we can just because it's a new start.
Xolos tied in that game eventually.
Pumas is on fire. They're scoring
Pumas.
bangers. They won 3-1 against Querétaro. Atlas had they won their game coming back as the campeones as they are, strong as ever. Puebla ended up beating Tigres, and Carlos Salcedo scored an own goal there, which could potentially be one of his last games for Tigres. He's rumored to go to Toronto in the MLS and possibly in the future play with Insigne.
That's crazy.
I mean,
That is crazy. Do you know how that transfer went through?
How?
The owner for Toronto or the GM for Toronto, I can't remember, was watching the Euros and then just went on transfermarket.com and see which Italian players were available. And
No
Insigne's
shit.
contract was coming. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild. And then you had Toluca winning 3-1. Cruz Azul ended up winning with another goal by Charly Rodriguez, an assist by Antuna. So,
Sad times for Chivas. Sad times for Chivas. Everybody else is doing well.
But the Liga
everywhere else.
MX is always exciting. And to wrap things up for the podcast, man, we had NFL playoffs, and your Eagles didn't do so good.
We always knew that. Like, we were just there for fun. What are you talking about? We
Kinda
knew
like
what
the-
was going to
Kind
happen.
of like the Steelers.
We knew what was going to happen. So, wild card, super wild card, Saturday, Sunday, Monday happened in the NFL thanks to the 18-week season. Now there's an extra couple teams in there that don't deserve it to be there. Honestly, the playoffs expanded, but it's not like it mattered. Like, these teams that squeaked in sucked ass and got destroyed.
Yeah, so we had Saturday. We started off with the Raiders against the Bengals. The Raiders kind of ended hot a little bit. Nobody expected this team to do what they did, Tony. They, after the season they had,
Yeah.
they had to fire their coach because of racist comments or homophobic emails from like 10 years ago. Then their star wide receiver.
Almost sounded like you defended him with that statement.
No, it was
I
from
know
10
you
years
did it.
ago. And then
You sound like you doubled down.
and then their star wide receiver decides to drive under the influence, like 160 miles an hour in the
Yeah,
Vegas street,
he's a murderer.
and killed someone. And then your star tight end gets injured for most of the season, and you still have Derek Carr and Hunter Renfrow carrying their team to a playoff match. That's impressive. And they had a chance this game. It went to the last play of the game. You couldn't watch almost the ending of this game because you were narrating, but it came down to the last pass by Derek Carr with seconds left in the end zone, and he got picked, and that's how the game ended. Bengals and Joe Burrow advanced to the divisional round, and they're looking really, really good.
This guy should keep his job. If he doesn't keep his job in Vegas, I don't know what the Raiders are doing. He at least deserves it. But the Derek Carr fantasy is finally over.
Yeah.
2 of the top 5 quarterbacks are now out. Just very interesting. But yeah, it was a really good game. The Bengals move forward, and now they're going to go ahead and have a challenge with
The Bengals, they're gonna end up playing the Titans,
Titans.
who were they had the bye week this week, the number 1 seed in the AFC. The other Saturday game was the Bills against the Patriots. A lot of people thought the Patriots had a chance.
At least I kind of did.
I've been a believer in the Bills since Josh Allen started rising to the star level that he is. He's X Factor level for Madden. This guy's a monster. He proved it in this game. Everyone's thought that Bill Belichick would outcoach the Bills. Didn't happen. Paliza. They lost by what? 30 points? 47 to 17.
No. 17 is a little too kind for what ended up happening in that game. The Bills absolutely dominated. They played the perfect game. They didn't punt. They scored on every single drive, a touchdown. They didn't kick a field goal. It was amazing offensive prowess against the top 5 defense in the New England Patriots. New big dogs in that division, and it shows. So good job on the Buffalo Bills. They move forward, and they will be facing the Chiefs in the next round. Moving over to the Eagles and the Buccaneers. I mean, you kind of knew.
You kind of saw Jalen Hurts.
I mean, like,
What a lot of people thought was saying that happened to Joe Burrow happened to Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
First time in the playoffs with this team against Tom Brady and the Bucs, really didn't stand a chance. It showed them the whole game. The Bucs ended up destroying the Eagles 31-15.
The Bucs, again, Super Bowl contenders. They do lose Godwin. They do lose Antonio Brown, but they still have good weapons. They have Mike Evans. People forget they have running back Giovanni Bernard. Gronk on there. Cameron Brate, another good tight end. Scotty Miller turned it on last year. He didn't do much in this game, but, I mean, the Eagles are the Eagles. The Eagles are going to Eagles. It's the NFC East. What you going to do? The Buccaneers move forward in that, and they're now going to go ahead and face those Rams, the 49ers, and the Cowboys.
This was probably the closest game there was.
Yeah.
Controversy.
Biggest disappointment of the Dallas Cowboys.
You had a ref tackling Dak Prescott at the end.
Nah.
I think the Cowboys and the fans are just crybabies at this point. They
You're
always do
supposed
that.
to hand the ball to the referee, not the center.
Yeah.
That's the end of it.
It's the rule. The 49ers ended up with this upset. That's not really an upset, but it was because the Cowboys were favorite. But now the 49ers are on to face Aaron Rodgers into what looks like a classic match. The San Francisco 49ers against the Green Bay Packers.
The Cowboys suck. Jimmy Garoppolo has more playoff victories than the Cowboys have since the 2000s.
Colin Kaepernick has more playoffs wins than the Cowboys, and Colin Kaepernick hasn't been in the league since 2016.
Hey, but Colin Kaepernick knows what it's like to make it to a Super Bowl.
Yes, he does.
Maybe the Cowboys should just take a knee as a whole.
I mean,
Just
they're
get kicked out of
just
the
disappointing
NFL.
their fans anyway. So.
Steelers, Chiefs.
We them boys. This is our year, huh, Cowboy fans?
Hey, Scooter. Chiefs, Steelers. The game that we saw 2-3 weeks ago happened again 2-3 weeks later.
Big Ben said it himself. I mean, we stand no chance against this team. They're probably arguably the best team in the NFL. This is quoting Big Ben. By
Patrick
the way.
Mahomes throwing 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. You have a really, really strong
Travis Kelce
team.
threw a pass.
He did throw a pass. It's crazy. Like, they're just having fun with it. The
Oh, yeah.
Steelers, again, had absolutely no business in the playoffs. They do get destroyed by the Kansas City Chiefs, 42-21.
As everyone saw that coming.
They move forward. And then Monday Night Football, Monday Night Manning.
That shit was terrible.
What? Peyton Manning not being able to listen? I can't hear shit.
Never mind.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, man. But, yeah, the Rams came into this game and absolutely shut down Kyler Murray.
Yeah,
Kyler Murray is...
Kyler Murray.
I mean, he's putting doubt into his fans, right? He hasn't been performing well towards the end of the season, and he got completely shut down. He had a terrible pass that he was about to get sacked in the end zone and lofts it and then throws a pick six. Defense was outstanding for the Rams. Odell Beckham threw for one pass for 40 yards to Cam Akers. Cam Akers had himself a game, man.
Hey, wait. Didn't he tore his Achilles?
In July.
How?
He tore his Achilles
How?
in July,
How
and
is he
he is
back?
back playing.
How?
He's young. He's what, 22, 23?
How?
Hey, man.
Vato,
That's
not,
amazing.
That's not supposed to happen. Like I need
It's
somebody
crazy.
to
It's crazy.
test them,
Yeah.
bro. Like, that's
no.
just wild. I don't
No.
know.
Come on.
But yeah, so this leaves down to the divisional rounds. You have the Bengals versus the Titans on Saturday. 2 Saturday games, 2 Sunday games. 8 teams left. Bengals, Titans, Joe Burrow, and that stable of wide receivers.
There's
Tyler Boyd,
Still
Chris
no
Chase.
news if Derrick Henry's going to play this game.
Still no news. I mean, if he's able to play, you unleash him. But again, what is he going to be able to do? He hasn't been playing that much. You let him go wild. Is it going to give you what you want?
Tony,
Bengals are strong.
I think Joe Burrow gets to the AFC Championship game for the first time in his career. First time of many.
I mean, the Cincinnati Bengals won for the first time in 20 years a playoff game.
31 years.
31 years. So, can they make it 2 in a row? It tends to happen when things like that get broken.
Yeah.
They'll win 2. Will they make it to the Super Bowl? Maybe
who
not.
knows?
But who are you taking in that? You taking the Bengals?
I'm taking the Bengals.
I'll take the Bengals on that one too.
Nice.
49ers, Packers, a classic looking match. Good little throwback. You have the 49ers and the Packers at Lambeau Field in -1 to 1 degree weather.
The thing about the 49ers, it's all about their run game. They're not going to rely on Jimmy G. Deebo Samuel's even one of their running backs at this point. I think the Packers have a better run defense than the Cowboys do. I'm going to go with the Packers in this one. I think Aaron Rodgers' experience, he's just going to pop off.
It might pop off. Just because it's 1 degree doesn't mean there's going to be snow and a blizzard. It might be clear skies. Jimmy Garoppolo has torn ligaments in his hand too, so
it's going to be a lot of
throw
running.
Trey Lance in there, maybe for a player too. Who knows? I say the Packers in that one too. You have rematch of regular season.
Yeah, the Rams against the Bucs. Rams absolutely dominated the Buccaneers during the regular season. Again, if Matthew Stafford can play the way he played against the Cardinals, then this game should be a win, and the Rams should be heading to another NFC Championship game. Again, it is Tom Brady, and in playoffs, Tom Brady with the top 10 defense, the number says it all. He has over 80% wins in playoffs with the top 10 defense. So this is probably the most exciting game in the divisional round.
Absolutely.
Oh, man, I don't know. Bills, Chiefs.
Can the Buccaneers beat your Rams?
They can. They
Will
can,
they?
but they won't. I think our defense is too strong. I think Donald and Von Miller are going to be putting a lot of pressure on Tom Brady. And I think Jalen Ramsey being able to lock down Mike Evans is going to play a big part. Like, all you got to do is stop Mike Evans now.
Yeah, at this point. I'm also going to take the
Leonard
Rams, which is
Fournette
the
either.
green in this one.
So I'm taking the Rams. Who are you taking?
I'll take the Rams too. Like, it's a depleted Buccaneers team. The Rams are going to turn it on. Bills, Chiefs.
Okay, my bad. This is the game that everyone wants to watch.
These are really good games. Maybe the Bengals one, meh. But
They're pretty even games. I can see either one taking them. I got the Bills. You know my boy Josh Allen's going to turn up. I'm a big Josh Allen fan. I think he's going to end up proving that the Bills are for reals this time. They're going to head into their first NFC Championship game. And he's not going to choke this time. He won't. What do you think?
I think you're watching the NFL on CBS. Brought to you in part by Meineke. Do you need overpriced mechanics? Meineke's the guy for you. And by
Heineke.
Heineke. Are you Tyler Heineke? Do you need a job after? Did Chiva mean to say Heineken? Probably.
Heineken.
Sponsored by Heineken.
I'm allergic to that beer.
Are you really?
I am. I'm allergic to that beer.
That's wild.
I know.
And by what else?
Oh, we're sponsored by
It's too late. The song changed.
oh,
Bills Chiefs going to be an offensive showdown.
Vassell.
I hope there's not going to be any sort of defense played in this game. I need it to be a 55-54 match.
Another 100-point game.
I'm down.
down
First
for that.
100-point playoff game.
What do you have?
The Chiefs.
I got the Bills.
I think that's the only one that we disagree on.
Oh yeah.
I'm good with that.
If the 49ers win and the Rams win, the Rams get a home NFC Championship game,
Are you going?
yeah, $1,000 a ticket. Hell no, I'm not going. I'll watch it at home. But if they do that, if that happens, they would have an NFC Championship home game, and then they win that, they have a home Super Bowl game.
We got rejected by the NFL for press passes, so
Oh,
it's not
yeah.
like we can make it to the Super Bowl.
Bummer. I mean, it's not
Oh,
like Liga
well.
MX where they love us.
Or San Diego Loyal.
Yeah.
Or San Diego Soccers.
San Diego
shout-outs.
Wave,
Eh,
potentially.
I don't know. If we ever get an email
Email
back, maybe.
yeah, I guess.
Well, yeah. So that's what we have for the NFL.
Again, big
at
shout
this
out to
point.
Alan Underwood for joining us for the loyal part of the episode. And big shout out to Tacos El Vaquero, who opened up a shop here in IB.
Absolutely. So Tacos El Vaquero opening up a brand new spot on Seacoast Drive, an actual brick and mortar store. They have some pretty interesting additions. Like
Hours
Costa
vary
Locos.
because sometimes
there's tsunamis, bro. Sometimes they
sometimes
have to
the-
close. There's
the
tsunamis.
tires go flat on trucks.
But we have to shout out PB European and Imports if you actually need your car fixed. Shout
Hit
out
'em up,
PB
yeah.
European Imports and or a smog check. You never know. Good service over there. Thank you guys for listening. We're also again gonna keep going with our two balls and Ileal Spanish segments. A lot of non-Spanish speakers have actually checked it out and say that they like it. So thank you for doing that. And yeah, I mean that's pretty much what
I think this is the longest episode yet. So
we've had longer, probably.
thank you guys for watching, listening. Appreciate you.